More blood in my body than you know. No, my bloodline wasn't trapped up on the boat. No, I cannot buy none of them stories that they told. Aboriginal. I got more blood in my body than you know. No, my bloodline wasn't trapped up on the boat. No, I cannot buy none of them stories that they told. On us aboriginals. For generations I've been free getting paid. My predecessor was a prince, not a slave. Gold dripping all through my DNA. No, we don't play. Yeah. Young royalty, top of my game. Yeah. More than a king, I'm a god in my reign. Don't need a throne, don't need no rings, don't need no hoes, and I don't need no change. Yeah. I got diamonds shining in my iris. Yeah. I pop a cap it to me, turn and run. Yeah. Been cultivating all these crappy honest. Yeah. Could give a fuck about a Tatiana. Yeah. But I'm still counting blue faces. All my bills paid, living in my truth, babe. 2020, I'ma cop the cool, baby. Drop the top down, blowing out the roof lately. I got more blood in my body than you know. No, my bloodline wasn't trapped up on a boat. No, I cannot buy none of them stories that they told. Aboriginal. I got more blood in my body than you know. No, my bloodline wasn't trapped up on a boat. No, I cannot buy none of them stories that they told. On us aboriginals. Ay. I might lie you for my lineage. Ain't for the drama, my mind on counting up dividends. Yeah, I'm a wizard with a wicked witch. Leave their name on the altar, then they gon' deal with it. Yeah, maybe flush it down the drain. Memorials made for your name. Bet you won't disrespect the gang. Take all that gas right out your tank. I'ma pop up in your dreams. Freddy Krueger with the Ruger right on me. Big shark, you some tuna in the sea. Picking all your flesh on my teeth. Yeah, I can smell the blood in the water. Sharpening my sword to get ready for the slaughter. Neck to the guillotine, then I off it. Price to the wall, you might end up in a coffin. I got more blood in my body than you know. No, my bloodline wasn't trapped up on a boat. No, I cannot buy none of them stories that they told. Aboriginal. I got more blood in my body than you know. No, my bloodline wasn't trapped up on a boat. No, I cannot buy none of them stories that they told. On us aboriginals. Ay.
I clear my throat, the microphone I'm hopping on. I tell the truth from copper tone, this is my home. They feed us lies, they took lives, they fucking stole. But I ain't dwelling on it. I just remember, I just want you to know. I'm a reincarnated soul. We ain't come on no boat, man, we been here. Aim with a beam scope, yo man been here. Said he cold, heat him with the toast, no biscuit. I'm building mountains, nation building, that's watch it talk. Ask me how I know. These psychedelics I'm consuming. Sacred plants, they told me so. Ancestors tell stories when I consult the altar. Flow the water for all the ones that's falling to my baby mama, I love you with all of my heart. We raised a tribe, we built it right. We set for generations and got land rights. Trust we locked down.
I got more blood in my body than you know. No, my bloodline wasn't trapped up on a boat. No, I cannot buy none of them stories that they told. Aboriginal. I got more blood in my body than you know. No, my bloodline wasn't trapped up on a boat. No, I cannot buy none of them stories that they told. On us aboriginals. Ay.
Stack that bitch up, Mike.
Yeah, truth can't be told, it gotta be realized. The truth can't be told, it gotta be realized. Freedom ain't free, it ain't legalized. Can't be told, it gotta be realized. Freedom ain't free, it ain't realized. Freedom ain't free, it ain't realized. Freedom ain't, it ain't legalized. Realize. Freedom ain't free, it ain't legalized. Realize. Freedom ain't free, it ain't legalized. Realize. Real life. Yeah, slavery was a long time ago. How? Same motherfuckers still here right now. Colonized on our land, they ahead of us. Changed our name so much, they scared of us. Children of the sun, y'all don't compare to us. Pale face people, this ain't y'all area. Talking about America, pale face people, this ain't y'all area. Even up the playing field, bitch, I'm darn. How you a victim, bitch, you a Karen. Cognitive dissonance, you don't need sparing. You got white privilege, so you don't need sparing. Looking at my homeland, man, I can't believe her. Colonized came here, they ain't never leave her. Indians ain't die off cause we here. You ain't gotta lie, just say you won't be here. How you American but not indigenous? 400 years still ain't get rid of us. All Europeans, naturalized citizens, made all the Indians niggas on the census. 1492, we was on the fences. Civil rights movement, we was so defensive. Black Wall Street, whites got so offended. Common law rights gave us amendments. Thank God don't speak truth, that's alright. First slave 1619 was all white. 1200 wasn't no continent, all white. Europe.
Yo. Shout out to the real ones in the building, man. It's your brother, Big Aboriginal Power, man. Y'all should already know the motherfucking vibrations, man. How y'all feeling out there this grand evening? How we feeling out there, man? We got some heat for y'all today, man. We're going to go ahead and get straight into it. We ain't going to hesitate. We're going to get straight into it. Shout out to the family that's in here rocking out. A lot of these tethers are highly scared, man. I've been hearing the conversation. I've been seeing the ICE raids with the Haitians and all that. Have y'all been catching up with what's going on with that? Have y'all been catching up with what's going on with the Haitians being rounded up by motherfucking ICE? Allegedly. Y'all got to know about that. If not, we going to talk about it. Don't worry, this is what we here for. And now the conversation that's being propaganded is that we should be scared and we should be on the defense because we're going to get deported next. Nigga, we can't be deported. How many times do we got to say this? How many times do we got to say this? We cannot be deported. Point blank, period. And so we done seen Jamaicans and all kind of people being deported. But these Haitians are out of pocket, bro. Like, they doing the same thing the illegal Hispanics was doing. You know? Let's get into the clip right now, man. We're not even going to hold you guys up any longer. Let's get straight into it. Let's go. Hold on. Look at this shit.
Come on. I fuck you, get my mother to mal. Just start to be pale. Just start being our
Man, we got shit like this running over here in America. It's over with. When we get shit like this in America.
Come on. I fuck you, get my mother to mal. Just start.
Man, what the fuck is this? See, when we be letting these androgynous looking creatures off of communities like this, you see some shit like this, man, call the police, call ICE. Look, call the Black American a unkaka. I think that's a Haitian insult to Black Americans. You know, I think it means nigger. It's equivalent to nigger. You know. Hey, one of my Haitian brothers that be in the chat, y'all come verify what unkaka mean. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure I know what it means. Just based off of how that little ugly motherfucker said it, yelling out that little van.
The federal judge has blocked the Trump administration from ending temporary protective status for Haitians 6 months earlier. The Homeland Security Department called for the program to end September 2nd, putting more than 500,000 Haitian citizens with TPS living or working in the U.S. at risk of deportation back to a country that is in a deep humanitarian crisis. Today's ruling restores their protections to the original February 2026. The federal judge.
So the Haitian deadline was extended, even though ICE was told by Donald Trump to go apprehend motherfuckers. They came here. They outstayed. They welcome. All immigrants have outstayed. They welcome, and niggas gotta go. And so now the conversation is, you niggas is next. You niggas are next. That's the conversation now, family. And I don't think they understand how this American thing goes. And as we speak, they're loading up, going down to job sites, known job sites that Caribbeans and other Haitians is known to have worked at. Let's get into some more of these clips, family. So they rounding their ass up. And like I said, you've been wondering why you don't be seeing that many stray dogs and that many stray cats in your neighborhood. You feel me? Your normal, your neighborhood cat lady been stressed and depressed because a lot of these Haitians, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, and they're eating the dogs. Yeah, just like Trump said. We gotta know this. We gotta know this. So, you know, this is proof of a Haitian getting incarcerated. Once again, getting incarcerated for being here illegally. And there's so many of these situations going on. They ran into a whole construction site, and the whole entire construction site was detained by ICE. Let's get into some more of these clips. Like, it's insane what's going on.
Shit, y'all know what time it is. Port Arthur, Texas. Sabine Pass. Shit, y'all know what time it is. Port Arthur, Texas.
So now when we looking at these situations, they're taking down there the whole site out. So you know what that means, fellas. All my all my carpenters, all my craftsmen. You see what I'm saying? Get ready to get these positions in, man, because this is our normal positions. We need to have these jobs anyway. These immigrants shouldn't be there anyways. And somebody's Scarities up chop. Haitians was giving belt to agents in Brooklyn. Yeah, I seen that. They was fighting and going hard body. I just don't know why they ain't fight the French like that in their own country. See, y'all not about to come to my country and start fighting, disrupting, destroying it, and you blackity black motherfuckers is gonna have all this garbage dumped on the black motherfuckers in America. Y'all trying to look like us, act like us, but y'all hate. No, we're not going for that. Ask the Hades and fight. No offense. There's some riders out there, but this ain't got nothing to do with us. We not helping. We not protesting. We not getting involved with y'all mess. Hell, we might even start going against y'all, because y'all causing disruption. And y'all didn't do none of this off of y'all country. If you want to go fight, I think Chief Barbecue in Haiti is looking for some new war soldiers. So I just need to rally up and do a mass job hiring and go ahead and get the snatching up these motherfucking migrants, Haitians, Jamaicans, Tethers, Africans, Hispanics, and sending them to the new Alligator Alcatraz prison that they got. They got a new Alligator Alcatraz prison that they recently just took the first shipment of deportees to. So I think it's going to be interesting to how this turns out. Is it going to be any escapes like the New Orleans 10? I doubt if you gotta swim across the alligator infested swamp.
Video evidence that they're building tents on the new facility they're calling Alligator Alcatraz. So my question is, who's building this facility? The first people we've uncovered are Logistic Events Corp, based out of Miami. Another company we found is a company called US Tent Rental. They're based out of Sarasota. These two companies are providing resources to help build this facility, if not helping build it themselves. Both Logistic Events Corp and US Tent Rental are complicit in what is going to be one of the most inhumane detention centers we've ever seen in our lifetimes. These are two companies that are blatantly and egregiously showing the state of...
I don't think it's inhumane. I think you prematurely said that. And we got a bunch of violent, illegal immigrants and criminals in our community. And I believe that this is one of the most nicest places that they could go to. You know, a nice little place that they could be in prison. It's better than being in Guantanamo Bay. You see what I'm saying? It's better than going to Guantanamo Bay, bro. So go to Alligator Alcatraz, or y'all, because I just don't understand. Like this, y'all so proud, y'all be flying y'all little country flags and shit. You know what I'm saying? But y'all not so proud to go back and fight for your country that's in war right now. Y'all want to sit here and get around Black Americans and play the victim game and try to get us to rally up and help. Man, we delineating. We not helping nobody. As Aboriginal Americans, we're not helping no one. That's out the window. So if you're not applying pressure with our people the way the pressure needs to be applied, then I don't know what the hell to tell y'all, family. These illegal immigrants is already coming in here trying to steal your birthrights. They are scammers. They known scammers in their own country. And once they get around more wealth, more economics, more technology, you think that's the scamming is going to stop, family? Think about it.
Are complicit in what is going to be one of the most inhumane detention centers we've ever seen in our lifetimes. These are two companies that are blatantly and egregiously showing the state of Florida that they value profits over people. They literally want to house 1,000 people, probably more, in tents in the Everglades. I'll let you decide what to do. We now have video evidence that they're building tents on the new facility they're calling Alligator Alcatraz. So my question is, who's building this facility? The first people we've uncovered are Logistic Events Corp, based out of Miami. Another company we found is a company called US Tent Rental. They're based out of Sarasota. These two companies are providing resources to help build this facility, if not helping build it themselves. Both Logistic Events Corp and US Tent Rental are complicit in what is going to be one of the most inhumane detention centers we've ever seen in our lifetimes. These are two companies that are blatantly and egregiously showing the state of Florida that they value profits over people. They literally want to house 1,000 people, probably more, in tents in the Everglades.
Right. At least you know it's not going to be cold. You're not going to die from freezing to death. And there's plenty of mosquitoes. So if they're not feeding y'all right, you Tethers and you Africans is already used to eating mosquito burgers, because I've just seen that online, where you African immigrants be eating mosquito burgers. So listen, man, we don't give a damn where y'all go. Y'all just got to get the fuck up out of here. See, I don't think they understand that. Listen, man, it's too many of y'all immigrants up in here, and y'all just be disrupting shit. Y'all be trying to look like us, act like us, and then when they start snatching and kidnapping y'all little people, taking them into ICE custody, y'all want to start bucking the system and fighting. Now, listen, I'm with bucking the system and fighting. Now, might I add, I gotta say, I am totally with bucking the system and fighting. But I'm only with bucking the system and fighting when it's your own land, bro. You niggas got welcomed here. And now y'all mad y'all time is up. Y'all gonna get mad because your time expired? You can't get mad because your time expired, fam. And now they running around all the Haitians and Jamaicans. You niggas next. You niggas is next.
We now have video evidence that they're building.
You niggas is next. ICE is deporting all the black immigrants right now, man. Like they've been on the Hispanics, they on the black ones. They on everybody ass right now. They just arrested Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. He was arrested by ICE. I didn't even know he was illegal. Let's get to it though. All right, I'm gonna play a little bit of the audio because I don't know if the sound. I had to get rid of the sound real quick. My bad.
¿No tienes algo sus zapatos? No. ¿Cosidos? Nada. ¿No tienes nada? Mi celular aquí en la bolsa de atrás. Aquí es el A ver, no tienes nada contigo, ¿no? No. He has pockets in the front of the jacket. ¿El teléfono? ¿El phone?
They got arrested by ICE, man. They not playing, bro.
I know already, dude. Oh, it's on the
Don't be no buster, man. Hit that like button as you come in the building, man. Shout out to Foundational Black Americans, all the Aboriginal American Indians. Shout out to the family, man. We the squad. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Do your due diligence by smacking that like button. And if you want to support the channel, support the channel. My sister Namo, Empress Goddess Namaste, kindly put the Cash App link in the chat, and I'm going to pin it where it's at the top of the live chat. Feel free to hit that thing. You're not obligated, but we do appreciate it, man. We do got a $5 challenge for y'all to support all the real, recognized, real informational-based challenges. If that's what y'all here for, support the movement. All right, let's get these likes up, man. We should be at least 55 likes, all right?
No le informan a mi abogado lo de cuando ya tengo una orden. Te vamos a llamar, vamos a dar llamada. Sí, pero por ejemplo, él no me dio avisado. You do have home search? Gloves on if you want me to. ¿No tienes algo sus zapatos? No. ¿Cosidos? Nada. ¿No tienes nada? Mi celular aquí en la bolsa de atrás. Aquí es el A ver, no tienes nada contigo, ¿no? No. He has pockets in the front of the jacket.
He got something on him. So they searching the fuck out my boy. But yeah, man, so ICE is not playing, man. ICE is out here doing it. Look, this is the first look of some of the immigrants being ushered in to the new Alligator Alcatraz detention center. They created an Alligator Alcatraz for the elite immigrants that thought it was cool to come to America illegally. Alligator Alcatraz is crazy. This is wild, man. How y'all feel about this Alligator Alcatraz shit, man? Let me know. Look at these people. They don't even know. They making history. I'm sitting on the boat. Look at them. They know this over with. Ain't no scared.
Alcatraz.
So listen, this is the thing with these illegal immigrants. A lot of these illegal immigrants normally will get caught and sent back to Mexico, and then they will come right back over here time and time and time and time again. No, nigga, we not sending your ass back to Mexico no more, my nigga. Cause you just gonna keep coming back over here. We send your ass to Alligator Alcatraz. Now come on now. Try to run it back.
Has officially opened with Trump in attendance, and this place is wild. So this is an immigrant detention facility that can hold up to 5,000 migrants as they wait to get deported. But listen to this. There is one road that leads into this place, deep into the Florida Everglades, and it's in the middle of a swamp. So the worst part of this place is it's infested with alligators, snakes, mosquitoes, and the weather in this area is horrible. It's in the middle of the Florida heat, and it's prone to nasty hurricanes. This is where the controversy starts. People are saying that these conditions are so inhumane that this is like a concentration camp. And even Trump acknowledged how controversial this was. He said it might be good as the real Alcatraz. It's a little controversial, but I couldn't care less. And Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said, if someone escapes, there's a lot of alligators you have to contend with. No one is going anywhere once you do that. It's as safe and secure as you can be. This place just sounds like an absolute nightmare, but I'm very curious to know what you guys think. Do you support Alligator Alcatraz?
Do y'all support Alligator Alcatraz? Let me know in the chat. Put a simple yes in the chat if you do agree with it and support it, or put a no in the chat if you feel like this is unhumane. I believe that it's a good thing. I believe it's going to build character in these illegal immigrants to not to never come into nobody's country illegal ever again. You know, because we don't know if you're a terrorist. We don't know who you is. But yet you want to keep trying to come up into another person's country, and you keep doing it relentlessly. Now it's to the point where it's like, damn, did somebody send you? Are you working for a group that is working on small influx invasions to counter attack on the American people? We don't know. But at the same time, we can't take that risk. So, yeah, man, it's going to be hard for them to get out that Alligator Alcatraz situation, man. I would be scared to go there. If I was an illegal immigrant, whether black or not, I would be terrified, family. I would be terrified. Are y'all not terrified? Are y'all not terrified yet? So it's a lot going on with illegal immigrants being held and detained by ICE. A lot of these people are talking about, oh, we should fight for these people. No, we're not doing that. They getting snatched up left and right. Like I showed y'all the other day. When these people, man, look, what is this? A Caribbean getting picked up by ICE. You see what I'm saying? Straight up. Let's get into it.
Do you have a warrant? Yeah, I have a warrant. Okay, hold it up. I don't need a warrant. I don't need a warrant. I'm not saying that.
Sir, how are you feeling right now? Can I ask your reaction?
No question.
No question. What country are you from, sir?
Don't answer any questions, all right? Say something.
Media. Do you have any reaction?
Remember your right to remain silent.
So they snatching these little motherfuckers up left and right. They are snatching these people up left and right, family. And now they talking about you niggas, you Americans, you niggas shit. You next, nigga. No. We not next, my boy. Bye Bumbleclot. Yeah, it's bye Bumbleclot. You see what I'm saying? We gotta know that it's bye Bumbleclot. Hold on, let me go to this next clip that I want to play. That's from my Twitter as well. If y'all not following me on Twitter, make sure y'all go follow me on Twitter, family. I drop a lot of the content that I can't really show on YouTube. We're gonna start doing a lot more Twitter spaces where we can get into those bags and really call out who we need to call out. You feel what I'm saying? And we can't do platforms because they got restrictions on us. So make sure y'all go follow me on Twitter. That's at Power Aboriginal. At Power Aboriginal, or you should just be able to type in Aboriginal Power. You should see my profile page. All that, man. You know this the Copper Grizzly, man. So make sure y'all tap in with that. All right. I do need y'all to get involved with that. But listen, though, on some real stuff, though, how do others feel like they got rights to fight against our police when they here illegally? You accepted the deal. Look, we're going to give y'all a certain amount of time to come here, blah, blah. And these niggas feel like, oh, well, now that my time is up, we should fight the government. Y'all niggas been quiet till it's time for y'all to go. Just leave peacefully now, nephew. Just leave peacefully now, nephew. Now, I fuck with some of the Haitians. We only talk about the illegal ones. We ain't talking about everybody. We just talking about the illegal little Haitians. Violent, mean. They in there they was trying to put belt the ass to the Brooklyn police last night. They was in that motherfucker. Hey, shout out to Zoe with the Haitian Zoe in the bill. Hey, y'all was trying to put belt the ass on some shit last night, wasn't y'all? Yeah, them motherfuckers was. Like, I don't know, y'all filled out the legal paperwork to come over here, but don't want to go through the rest of the process to become legal. See, that's what happened. You don't want to go through the process, your ass gonna get detained and sent back, bro. Look at him. Look at this little aggressive motherfucker. Let's break this shit down some more. Hold on. Look at it. He mad as hell. He's so oh. See, look, y'all doing all this, but y'all didn't do this with the French. See, that's what I don't like, though. I mean, yeah, y'all going to war, granted, right now, but guess what? Y'all still paying the French. The French run y'all niggas. Y'all paying all this million money to the French. And listen, we just giving y'all some free game, huh? Get the fuck out of here if you illegal. Because I don't know if y'all know, when y'all got in all that little situation, when y'all had them little hurricanes, Americas, our people, my government, the Americans, we gave y'all, I think it was what, $500 billion or $500 million for relief funds for Haiti. You niggas don't do shit for us. What I'm saying is take some advice. Go back and fight. Y'all one of the ones that got some history that go back to fighting, fam. I don't know why y'all fled. Y'all not used to, y'all not one of the fleers, fam. So Haitians, I'm listening to your brother. Y'all go back and pull up the spirit of my Aboriginal brother, Bookman, who led the Haitian Revolution. You feel me? Who chanted and he called on the name of his ancestors every day. You ain't gonna be able to do it here, bro. This ain't your land. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna win if it ain't your land, my nigga. You understand? Go back to Haiti. Fight the good fight. We here for you. But doing it here, we not with it, bro. But we got another strategic plan that we're working on. We're trying to get rid of all the other people who in our way from getting to this motherfucking beast. Let's play the rest of these angry Haitians, man. They done turned this motherfucker, New York, Brooklyn, to damn near a little baby third world country real quick. No, I can't even believe they just turned it into a little baby third world country and shit. See, this is what I be talking about when I say tethers. See, I don't think y'all be understanding quietly what I be trying to say when I say tethers, man. This is what we talking about. These type of people, man. We gotta know that, man. And that's what made me get into this next clip. Let me pull this up right quick. We're gonna play a little bit and respond to this video. Shout out to everybody that's in the building. Hit that like button. Support the channel. And if my audio is cool, because I know I'm out of town, man. I'm out. I'm out in the Northeast. I was in DC, Maryland area a little bit yesterday. Came through Delaware. We up in Philly right now with it. But yeah, man. So yeah, let me know if my audio is cool, because I'm not in my normal studio area that I'm normally in. So y'all let me know if my audio is cool in the chat. Let's continue though. I meant to ask that earlier.
The whole crew, man. You sent about 5 people at me. I read through them all. They're giving me props in the comments and everything, man. So I wanna salute you for that.
There it is. There it is, man.
Yeah. I had some questions for you though, man.
Go ahead, Africarize.
All right. So one of my questions is, if a civil war broke out, would there be a distinction between FBA, Caribbeans, and Africans? Would the white supremacists be like, oh, he's African, and then cease fire?
No, because they would get the tethers, and the tethers would be working with them against us. That's the first thing they would do. They would go look for foreheads and hairlines, get them working as their damn allies, and them niggas would be against us. So yeah, there would definitely be a distinction. Yes.
Okay. I also wanted to point out some of the Africans and Caribbeans that contributed to hip hop, including Nipsey Hussle, Styles P, Biggie.
Slow down. Nipsey's mother is FBA, by the way. Y'all don't play that game. Nipsey's mother is FBA. Go ahead. Go ahead. And Biggie.
Oh, pardon self. My mic was off.
Yeah. You said that Nipsey was African, but his mother is FBA. So just gotta.
But he was very open about his Eritrean heritage and everything. He spoke about it openly.
Yeah, I know. I would talk to him personally about his family and the whole shebang. That was my brother, but he's the foundational Black American. His mom is FBA. He grew up in FBA culture. Huh?
Okay, what do you think he would think about this whole, you know, African, I don't want to say hatred, but African distinction and kind of like making jokes about Africa? What do you think Nick would say about, you know, that whole vibe?
Well, if people get jokes made about them when they try to come in and roast. So if you lose a roast battle, you just lost a roast battle. So that's the problem. Y'all can't come in here trying to play the roast game with us, and we're masters at that shit. Yeah, we're gonna light you up.
I mean, what do you think Nipsey would say about the word tether though? Do you think he would like rock with that or
Don't know.
be
But the thing
cool with
is,
that?
yeah, the word is there. The word we got that from the movie Us. So
Okay.
he he's not a tether, and don't act like a tether. You won't be called a tether if you don't try.
All right.
Nipsey was
Yeah.
a solid brother. So Nipsey was a solid dude.
I mean, but the thing with the word tether is, can you look at a person and just be able to tell if
And
this
see, this
person?
is another thing. This is why I constantly keep calling you guys who come around us that's not of our stock, that try to look like us and blend in. You guys are really tethers because you guys don't have the benefit of my people and you don't respect the culture and y'all don't respect us. And y'all never brought anything to us that benefit off us. All y'all did was come straight up to our house, pull up a chair and grab a plate and start eating off of the shit that we cooked up. So, at the end of the day, now we have a word for these people that come over here and directly do those particular actions. Not every foreigner is a tether because not every foreigner has that action that we're considering what a tether is. I have good brothers that is from other places, like Zoe. Zoe in the chat is a Haitian, and I consider him a good brother. You see what I'm saying? My brother Juan Torres. You see what I'm saying? Who's also Puerto Rican. He's my brother. So we understand that we're not talking about individually. A tether is someone who has a particular action towards your people. And a lot of you guys have it, and a lot of you guys hide it. You guys are passive aggressive. You lie, and you undermine ultimately. And that's why you guys are considered tethers, and it gets you guys coconut draws up in the bunch, uh, often because we never had a word to single out the foreign blacks that undermined us, that culture vultured us in a way. So now we have those, and now you guys are butthurt.
If they're tether, like if a
No,
white person,
tether is it's something that you do. It's an action. A tether is
but when you,
it's an action.
but
Do
but if a white person says the word yeah, would you say that they would be like, all right, well, this black person is a good, but this one isn't, or is it just offensive as an
because what
overall term
they use
to
the
us?
word, they're like we're victims of white supremacy. That's what the N word means. That
That's what it means to you. But I don't think when white people say the word nigga, they're like, oh, victim of white
what,
supremacy. I
what
think
do you
they're
think they mean
saying the
when
word
they say
nigga.
it? No, no. What do you think they mean when they say it? It only has one meaning. That's it. What do you think they mean when they say it?
I think it's a derogatory term to call us ignorant, to call us
Not no no
inferior.
no. That means victim of white supremacy. Right. That's what inferior means. If you are inferior based on race, you are there's somebody superior. And that means you're a victim of white supremacy. That's exactly what the N word means. It means victim of white supremacy. So they're reiterating that we're victims of them. It's not ignorance. That's a lie. They call babies the N word. You can't say a baby is ignorant. You understand? But that baby's a victim of white supremacy. They say that
So
scholars are N words, but he's not ignorant. He's a victim of white supremacy. All right.
so do you think there's a difference between racial epithets? You think like if there's a difference between tether and nigger? I know they mean two different things, but you think like my argument is like I'm saying like a white person when they look at a black person and say that one is a nigga, but that one isn't. It's like an overall term. So when you say the word tether, I don't know if people could make a distinction between saying, all right, well, this one is a tether and this one isn't, because we don't walk around with signs that say tethers on our foreheads.
Racial. It's not racial. It's not a racial term. It's not a racial epithet. It's more of an ethnic identifier based on an action. Just like when we call it a Sambo. Yeah, that's an action. That's somebody who's over here doing something to undermine us. That's a Sambo. Jesse Lee Peterson is a Sambo. Can't call him a tether because he's from here. He's one of ours, but he's a Sambo. Larry Elder is a Sambo. He's not a tether. He's one of ours. Now, if Larry Elder were foreign, he would be a tether. You understand?
I mean, I get what you're saying, but the word tether means to latch on to something, right?
Right.
So there are a lot of African and Caribbean people that latch on to Black American culture that are, when you say the word tether, you could say this one isn't a tether, but and this one is a tether. But I think all Caribbean people, African people will be offended by the word tether, because even though you're able to explain it here, we don't necessarily hear that nation. Like a white person in a trailer park might say, oh, when I say nigga, I mean this.
But
to our ears, we hear something different.
Here's the problem. Y'all never said, hey, the word yank and Yankee, which is what the Caribbeans would say about us. Y'all never said that would be offensive. Y'all never said, hey, calling them Akatas, that's kind of offensive. Y'all never had that conversation with them, and they've been calling us that for decades. So that's the problem. They made a damn difference. They delineated from us and put us in a negative category and gave us derogatory terms. You understand? While we were helping them. That's the thing. These folks all up and down West Africa, because they like to just put it on Nigeria, which is all bullshit. All up and down West Africa, they refer to us. Many of them call us some damn Akatas. You understand? While they come over here tethering off of us. So yeah, that's a problem. And we corrected that problem. There's only so long you can just disrespect people, especially the only people who are helping you. We've not gotten no help from them, but they've gotten all the help in the world from us. We're the only people who helped Africa. Foundational Black Americans, nobody has helped Africa more than us.
Can you say that a lot, but can you be specific as to what specifically have foundational Black Americans done to help Africa? And I'm not saying there aren't things, but I'm just wondering, like, what specifically have foundational Black Americans done to help Africa?
Man, going back to the 1930s, when, and I always talk about this, when they were about to get invaded.
Man, we did so much, man. Listen, bro, did you not know that we used to have food drives at our school for those that went to, you know, culturally ethnic schools of our stock? We had food drives a couple times a year to give back to Africa, fam. Michael Jackson did a song called "We Are the World," and they did a whole campaign where you could call in and donate it. Michael Jackson, Lonnie Richard, Smokey Robinson. It was a gang of people there. All the top celebrities at the time went to Africa, raised millions, I think maybe even equivalent to billions. A billion today. They raised tons of money and gave it to Africa. It was a charity, gave it away. And then Michael Jackson was there, man. The biggest star in the world. So you can't say we haven't gave back to Africa. Well, that's all we have been doing continuously, giving back to Africa. Our energy, our understanding, our respect, everything. And then we never got it back in reciprocation because they gave us a fabricated story, and these people never liked you in the first place. For the most part, a lot of them don't. A lot of them don't. So when you get into these understandings of what we gave back to Africa, and I think Tariq Nasheed brings this up on this live stream. That's a lot, man. What has the African did for us? That's the ultimate question.
Italy, foundational Black Americans said, no, we don't want them colonized. We started lining up around this country to volunteer to go fight over there. The U.S. government didn't even want us to fight over there, but some of us were going over there anyway. Our good brother John C. Robinson, Foundation Black American pilot, he was the precursor to the Tuskegee Airmen. That brother went over there and started showing them how to fly planes correctly so that they can fight Italy off, and he became a part of the Air Force over there. Dude, we've done so much for Africa. Dr. Ralph Bunche, he was the one, he's Foundational Black American. He was the one writing a lot of the charters and the constitutions for African decolonization. He was working with the UN to get their paperwork together to get the colonizers off of them. Dude, Kwame Nkrumah, we had him over here going to HB.
Wasn't he trying?
Damn, do you hear that? Tariq just dropped some heat.
How to fly planes correctly.
We taught niggas how to fly planes
correctly. We started lining up around this country to volunteer to go fight over there. The U.S. government didn't even want us to fight over there, but some of us were going over there anyway. Our good brother John C. Robinson, Foundation Black American pilot, he was the precursor to the Tuskegee Airmen. That brother went
right, the precursor. He was from Chicago. Went over there, helped fight in the Ethiopian War. Donated. When they put a ban that our people couldn't even go over there and fly overseas. Guess what my dude did? He built the airplane from scraps, flew it over there, helped fight, and gave him the airplane. Come on, man. That's the type of shit that American pride does when we think that people are loyal to us. When we think that we're going to have a camaraderie. And every time we get the shit end of the stick. That's why the last few years, us as Aboriginal so-called FBA Americans, we've been delineated. We have to delineate. If we do not delineate, these people will continue to feel like they can leech and attach themselves to us. And they've been doing it so long, now that we're pulling away, they feel like they're being attacked. That's like being at a buffet and you done ate 1,000 plates while you sit down and a worker come in and say, hey, you've had enough. Time for you to go. And you get in an uproar and want to fight. No, you done ate, big back. It's time for you to get back. Time for you to roll out. Bye-bye, Bumbleclot. You know what I'm saying? Now since we know that our words and the shit that we speak on, and once we get on code, affects America, it gets shit done, shit shifts, shit move around when we code, family. Shit get on code. Let's continue though.
Let's see who else we got. Yeah, he sound like he just woke up. I don't know what he's talking about. Let's get Chaka Benzuda. Chaka Benzuda. What's up, Chaka Benzuda? Where you at, Chaka? All right, Chaka Benzuda bounced. Okay. Let's get Raw Woods. Raw Woods in the building. Raw Woods, what's happening? Raw, unmute your microphone. All right. Come on, man. Y'all slowing the flow down here. Y'all slowing down the flow.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. What's up, Raw?
Oh, man. So, you know what, man? This disingenuous conversation with all these, with the Africans and the Koreans, the shit is killing me. Like, first of all, I'll talk about education. Have you ever took the time to read the African scholars that talk about the shit that you dissing in the books? Did you read the Sheikh Anta Diop's? Did you read Dr. Ben? Are you guys even? I mean, I thought y'all was so educated. I thought y'all was, you know, the best of the best and top of the line where you come from, and you come here and y'all outshine us. So how was it that you don't know none of this information?
Yeah, very good point, man. Because a lot of the scholarship it was coming from this side, the Renoko Rashidis and John Henry Clarks and Chancellor Williams and people like that. We were the ones uplifting African history and ancient history. Yeah. Let's get Sam. Sam,
Yo, what's up, Tariq?
what's going on, Mr. Sam? How are you, brother?
Chilling, driving. But I seen an interesting little clip earlier in the night, and the lady brought up a point that I was like, oh man, Tariq does space tonight. I'm gonna bring this up to him. I want to ask you, like, what's your response to this point that she made, if you don't mind?
Go ahead.
Because I think she was doing like a commentary on that debate that was on No Jumper with the prejudiced white dude and the black dude. Regardless, they were talking about how slaves built America, right?
Right.
And her argument against that, basically, she said something on the lines of, I'm paraphrasing, but she basically said, other nations had African slaves as well. Why didn't they prosper like America did? If having black slaves was such a big part of creating America or made America that much, you know what I mean?
That's a good question. Very interesting. Now, they were foundational Black Americans. See, we had a very unique ethnogenesis. So now the woman, now what was she? Was she white, black? What was she?
Some white girl with blonde hair. I don't even, you know what I mean? It was just one of those like I was sliding through X, which is weird because X has been pushing some racial shit a lot lately, but that's just a whole nother topic. But yeah.
Right. Well, yeah, that's a very good question. And my answer to that, is that we, foundational Black Americans, we're the secret sauce here because of a few reasons. We had an ethnogenesis here, we had indigenous lineage here, and then we mixed.
The reason we the secret sauce here, the reason people don't understand this is because we are the Aboriginal people here. We are the indigenous presence here. We are the so-called black people that's here. And so once we like Joe, we like the man of many coats. And once you understand that everything that is promoted, everything that is revered, everything that is economically savvy around here, we ultimately had a hand in. You can't name an invention in the world that a black person wasn't there with their hands involved in the creation, if not totally created. Aboriginal American peoples like myself has always been involved with the culture. And now we got a lot of these tethers getting rounded up by ICE, right? They're getting snatched up by ICE. And they're looking for us for help. Should we help these people? Yes or no? Should we help these people? We got to ask ourselves that. At the end of the day, man, it's not about what you think. It's about what we know. And we know for one thing for certain is that our people totally built this country. And if you don't believe you built the country, all you got to do is look at history. If you are not for sure who you are and you know you're not an African because your culture, your vibe, your tradition, your energy just not connected to them, then come holler at your brother Big Aboriginal Power, man. I'm here to give you your truth of who you are as an indigenous Aboriginal. And once we open your eyes, man, you're going to have so much pride in who you are and really standing on this American business. And shout out to the family that's in the building that has been spreading this knowledge of Aboriginal history, genealogy, culture, inventions and innovations, man, and constantly waking up our people to let people know that we are different and we are all we got. We have no other allies. We have seen it with the Caribbeaners. We done seen it with the Africans. We done seen it with every other ethnicity. There has never been no black and brown coalition. So shout out to the real ones in the building. Yeah, shout out to the real ones in the building, man. Gotta shout the family out. It's always a blessing. But yeah, man, we're gonna rock this thing on out. We're gonna keep it going. I got some more heat to get into. Let's get into it though. But hey, drop them fire emojis and support the channel, man. For those that's listening in on
With the
Instagram or Twitter,
some of
make
the
sure y'all come
African
over to
tribes and all
YouTube
of that
to
stuff, and then
Aboriginal
we
Power.
created a
Come
whole
tap
new
in.
group
Tap in.
here, and it was like a Big Bang theory of culture and innovation. That's why things thrived here more with the ingenuity that we had here. You understand? Our ethnogenesis, it was also a spiritual thing. So yeah, it was different, and we're different. That's why foundational Black Americans, even now, we do things differently than Black people from different places. People try to tie everything in, but we know we are very unique. Like when we do music, they try to give it to some African tribe. No, there's no African version of a Nas. No, no, and I'm not saying that to be disrespectful. There's no African version of Luther Vandross. There's no African version of Whitney Houston. You know what I'm saying? We had a very, very unique ethnogenesis here that was a spiritual ethnogenesis as well. RJ, what's up, RJ?
What's up, Tariq? You good?
I am good, Mr. RJ. How are you, sir?
I'm good, Tariq. And just to follow up on that question, that guy, it's irrelevant. It's an irrelevant question because what happened in America happened in America. You know, America was built by slavery. So I hate when people speak like they say the opposite of what a historian would say. I always tell people when I'm talking to them, when I'm debating, say what a historian would say. Don't talk to me with opinions. Say what's established, and what's established is America was built by slavery. Full stop. But to get to another.
No, America was already built before slaves even existed. And to be honest, there was never a point in time where my people were set in pro sale and was just willingly put into these conditions that we have been through. What we're dealing with is a fight against the established judicial system that we have been at war with. And once they establish foot, obviously during the war, we became prisoners of war. The status of slave can never be applied to an indigenous or an aboriginal, and this is in any quote, any history. And when you look up the definition, entomology or the etymology of the word slave, it goes back to a particular group of people. So we know that our people has only been in prison. And once you become in prison, you become a quote unquote Fourth Amendment slave, which is slavery. And that's what it was before the 14th Amendment. Prisoners. That's how they considered you a slave. And so when they ratified and they could brought in effect the 14th Amendment, now you guys, anyone that enter in a particular prison could be a damn slave. So now, like I said, this is all a system game play. Y'all understand what I'm saying, family? These people are running amok. When these foreigners come over here, no matter their ethnicity, no matter their shade, they're not coming over here as the Negro, as the Black, as the African American, as the Aboriginal. They're coming over here as a status that they feel like is in the winning seat. Oftentimes, in rare occasions, you have these foreigners attaching yourself to your aboriginality, your culture, your tribes, and things of that nature because they want to steal land. They understand doing genealogical research and attaching yourself to shit. They can steal land, and when examining, calling out, and exposing these African tethers and these other people that is outside of our stock coming into our tribes, creating fake genealogy, attaching it to real people, and trying to get allodial titles, land deeds, land patents. And so we exposing these people, man. We exposing these people. So at the end of the day, we got a lot of history to break down. So let's go. I got a lot to get into. You feel me? We got a lot to get into. I want to let, cause it's another conversation I want to get into. Cause I want to let y'all hear this one. Cause this is how a lot of these people kind of think about us. Hold on one second, fam. We about to cook a little bit. We about to cook a little bit. Y'all in here with me? Drop those fire emojis. If you in here with me, drop those fire emojis. Give me, give me give me just a second, family. We about to pull it up. About to pull it up. All right, hold on. Let me run it back. Locked in. Let's go. Let's go.
Expert.
What's up, man? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's up, expert?
I'm good, bro. How are you?
I'm good, man. What's on your mind?
Man, I got a lot. I got quite a few things to say to you, to be honest with you, man.
Go.
Well, I guess the first thing I'll say is I do support your message overall.
Okay.
I appreciate the fact that you are an outspoken advocate for Black people.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need people like that. I think that's important.
Now, are you a Caucasian?
But
Are you Caucasian?
no, I'm Black. I'm half FB.
Okay, where's your mom from?
So my mom was born in LA, but my grandfather is from Paris, Texas. So it's in like the northern part of Texas, like on the border of Oklahoma.
Okay.
And yeah, so I'm actually funnily enough, my grandfather's great grandfather was actually a slave. He was born in Mississippi. He was on a cotton plantation in Mississippi. So I'm half FBA.
And where's your dad from?
He's from El Salvador.
Okay, got it.
Well, he was born in LA too, but his family's from El Salvador.
Got it. Okay. So
yeah,
what issues do you have?
I think that overall I feel like your message is good. You say a lot of good things, but I feel like you've become kind of a net negative to the Black community in some respect.
How so?
I feel like you're a net negative because you preach a lot of divisiveness, and it's not necessarily that divisiveness is bad inherently, but I think it's it's kind of like counterproductive at the end of the day.
Speak of.
So you reiterate a lot of kind of like white supremacist narratives, in my opinion,
Like
stuff
what?
that you would hear.
It keeps it. You go wait. Okay, I've asked 3 times to give an example. You just made a bunch of accusations if you've not given one example.
Okay. I can give you an example.
Now that's kind of white supremacy when you just kind of say shit and don't back it up. Give me an example.
Yeah.
What
Yes.
Divisive
Yeah.
like white supremacy. I got to hear this.
Okay. Yeah. So I would say a lot of times when you talk about like Black folks, especially like African immigrants, especially, it comes across that way. Like when you say you're bush meat, things like that, or when you say like you come from a failed homeland, things like that. Like when you say things like that, it's very reminiscent of white supremacist talking points.
Is calling us lazy and we don't work hard and we're on drugs. Is that white supremacy? Because they do that to us all the time.
Oh no, that is. It goes both ways. It goes both ways.
El Salvadorians,
what about them?
They come over here with El Salvadorian gangs, MS-13 and all of them.
Mm-hmm. Not my family. We came here legally.
No, but still, the El Salvadorians, they're clicked in with the Aryans over here, especially in jail.
Is it true?
Yeah.
I don't think that's true.
Yeah.
Where is this?
Is this in LA?
Southern California. The Hispanic.
I'm from LA. I've never heard that.
You never been to jail. You don't know about
True.
the system. They do.
Yeah.
They're allied with the Aryans in jail. The Mexicans and the El Salvadorians, MS-13s and all them.
Well, that's terrible.
They align with the whites. So what you just did was called a projection, sir. That's a projection. All right. So we better be clear on not putting out projections like that. That's not cool.
Well,
now what? Now
okay.
divisive. Now you said something about divisive. What now? What's divisive?
So I would say this, right? I lived in DC for a while, and I met a lot of Ethiopians, and I met a lot of Somalians,
right?
And a lot of them are outspoken. A lot of them are advocates for foundational Black Americans as well. A lot of us get along perfectly well with them, and there's no animosity or beef. And I think you're trying to like stir up this artificial conflict between African immigrants and Black people, and it's just like, why are you creating an unnecessary conflict? It's like not. I don't think that's necessary.
So you're saying, because what you're saying to all of us in here, that immigrants who come here do things to us, do things to get in positions over us to harm us. We're not supposed to call that out. We're not supposed to call out all of these non-FBAs who's a part of the Congressional Black Caucus who get in power and don't do anything for our lineage, but do a bunch of things for immigrants. And that's not divisive, but us calling it is divisive?
Well, what are they? I'm sorry, you're going to have to be specific. What are they not doing for Black people? How are they sabotaging Black people?
They don't. Well, when you have people like Kamala Harris, the head tether in charge, who say with her whole chest, she ain't going to do nothing that only benefits Black people. Yeah, that's a problem. You ain't.
Tariq, you have to see the bigger picture.
Oh, I see the bigger picture. The bigger picture is her ass not getting elected. That's what the bigger picture is.
Tariq, are you aware of how unpopular reparations is? Not even just amongst.
You think I give a damn? We don't.
Well, I'm saying Kamala is worried about political viability. She's not going to go up there and say she wants to.
No. LGBT stuff ain't that popular either, but they press for it. Don't nobody want that shit. They don't want trans stuff in the schools, but they put it in there anyway. That's extremely unpopular. They put it in anyway. So I don't give a damn what's unpopular. We're standing on business. Slavery and freedom wasn't popular. We said, hey, we're going to make it popular. Civil rights wasn't popular. These folks didn't want us to have no civil rights in the 60s. Why?
Well, okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no. See, you're bringing your immigrant side of the family. You're bringing that mindset over here that we don't have. That's why it looks divisive to you, because we stand on business based on what's righteous, not what's popular. Some bullshit can be popular. We're standing on what's
right. A lot of bullshit right now in this day and age is actually popular. That's why we got to bring the real back. We don't give a fuck what's popular. We're doing what's righteous. What's the truth? You feel me? At the end of the day.
And what's righteous is justice. What's righteous is our operations. I don't give a damn if it's unpopular. They sit up here and give our resources to all of these non-FBAs. That's divisive. Are you saying we're supposed to just sit here and let our resources get given away to all of these other groups indefinitely?
Well, no. Not give away resources to other groups indefinitely. No, that's not what I'm saying. I don't even disagree with the idea of reparations in theory. I think that reparations is a totally defensible idea. I'm more so speaking to the mind of why people don't go up there and say it. It's because if they do, they're not going to get elected. There's no way.
Okay.
Do you think you understand what it means when you ask for reparations? You know what that implies?
But why is it divisive? Why are we divisive? You said we're divisive.
Well, okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, if I'm divisive because I want my lineage to get what they're supposed to get. I want them to get tangibles because they need help too. How is that divisive?
Well, because what you're basically doing is you're making people pay for the sins of their father. You're making people who had nothing to do.
Is over here getting paid from the.
Yes, I agree. Right.
So
I agree. That's true.
Your daddy can come over from El Salvador and get resources and benefits. Miss me with.
Well, he's an American citizen. He worked for it, so it's not the same. Don't frame it like that.
No,
we've paid into the system too. We've been, and also half FBA, so you can't use that argument.
No. Your people, your dad came over here and got a bunch of unearned benefits.
This nigga said he half FBA. He is not no damn.
We've paid into the system too. We've
He ain't
and
no
have also half
Aboriginal.
FBA, so you can't use that argument.
No. Your people, your dad came over here and got a bunch of unearned benefits.
No, he didn't. He's an American citizen. He's a legal citizen. He was born here, and his mom was a citizen.
He got unearned benefits. When your dad came here, he pulled up a plate and started eating. He didn't bring anything to this country. He came over here and pulled up a plate and got a bunch of benefits from being an immigrant, sir. We didn't owe him nothing, but he got stuff. Immigrants get stuff. I don't want to hear all of that. If foundational Black Americans get something, you're paying for the sins of the father and all of that bullshit. No, we're the only people who are really owed something. We're really owed. Your father coming over from El Salvador is not owed anything. So that's not divisive by saying that I don't want to keep giving my resources to non-citizens. I want to make sure foundational Black Americans are good. How is that divisive? Go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to speak over you. That's my bad.
It's all right. It's all right, but go ahead.
I want to be respectful. Well, a couple things. I'll say this. What was your question again? Sorry, there was a lot there. What was the last question?
Yeah, my thing is, if your dad and other immigrants can come over here and get a whole bunch of plethora of resources, why is that okay? But when we want it, it's paying for the sins of the father and all of that. When we want resources that we earn on our own homeland, why is that a problem?
Okay, so I'll address the part about the sins of the father thing, and then I'll address how my dad is involved in that second. So the first one I'll say is like, you have to think about it from the broader perspective. If a bunch of people feel like they have to pay taxes into a system that is basically repatriating their taxpayer money to reparations, that's not like a politically viable thing. Like like that's just not going to poll well. That's not going to work. You're going to have a lot of people who protest that. I'm not even saying the idea of it is bad. I think it's a perfectly justifiable and defensible idea in theory, like reparations. That makes perfect sense to me. I just don't see it working pragmatically. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's a successful thing. I think if Black people in this country want power, you need to build a coalition. You need to get smart, talented people to come together, and then you need to lobby Congress. But you can't just ask for reparations. That's the first thing that.
Okay.
And then, sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
I would say with that, I completely disagree.
Yeah.
I disagree with that. Because we're owed that. And we're not going to sit up here and let this debt linger indefinitely.
Mm-hmm.
Built this country from the ground up. That money and the resources was passed down generationally, locked in generationally, and the deprivation of those resources has been locked in. And all of these other groups have been prioritized over us, and those days are over. And the thing is, and the problem is, there's an ungratefulness there. We sit up here prioritizing these other groups as foundational Black Americans, helping them out. And then when we say, you know what, it's time for us to look out for ourselves, we get gentlemen like you who call in and say that I'm divisive because I want to look out for my lineage. I think that's very disrespectful. And that's probably the reason why the pendulum is swinging and people are very indifferent to all of this deportation that's going on. Because what you did, that type of disrespect, that's disrespectful not just to me, not just to people in here, but to our lineage. And you can say, well, yeah, you got somebody who might have been a slave somewhere, but you have dual allegiance. And that's a different vibe. You still have a different energy from a full foundational Black American because you still have somewhat of an exploitive mindset. So one part of the lineage wants to exploit the other part. So there's a dichotomy and a dual allegiance there that a lot of us full foundational Black Americans don't have. I'm 10 toes down for the lineage because I'm FBA on both sides of my family. I ain't got no immigrants in my family. So everything is blood, sweat, and tears in this soil. That's not divisive looking out for my people and my lineage. Your people look out for their people and their immigrant lineage. So we are not going to take same kind of criticism that's unfounded. But go ahead.
Well, I mean, you threw a lot of accusations at me right there, so I'm trying to process all that. You're saying I have a dual allegiance, but like I'm at least a third generation on my dad's side, and I'm like at least 8 or 9 generations on my mom's side. So there's no dual allegiance. I'm in favor of mass deportations as well. I think everybody who decided to sit out these ICE protests, I was completely on board with that. There's no reason why we should be out there supporting that. I think this country is for Americans. I think if you're illegal, you should be sent back home. And I think we should have an immigration moratorium. So I'm with you on that. We should prioritize Americans. And Black people have got the short end of the stick for the past 400 years. I'm with you on that too. And like I said, the idea of reparations is fine. I was more so when I said about you being divisive, I think all the unnecessary like slander on Africans and Koreans, it just is distasteful. That's all I'm saying.
No, slander how? How do I slander them? Because if y'all come in trying to roast, I'm going to roast your ass back. So let's stop with that. No, stop with that. Yo, look, these tethers, they come in trying to roast, and they're not funny, and they're not really witty, and they do all of this little slick talking behind the scenes, and they caca and kiki, and then they come in here and trying to roast with us, and then they lose. They get into roast battles, and then they lose. That's what happens. Don't turn around and talk about you being slandered and all that. If you try to roast, we're the masters of that, and we're going to light your ass up, and that's a part of our culture. Roasting is a part of foundational Black American culture. We roast each other. You understand? So
I know.
We'll roast each other.
I know.
You ain't roasted. No, you ain't above. Everybody's gonna get hit, especially if you come in arrogant and and your forehead looking janky and your hairline is janky. You giving us.
I've gotten the work before. I understand how it goes.
So up.
Well, look, I guess it's just there's a bit of an irony in that, and the reason I say that is because look, I know you're big on this whole Black people or Black Americans are indigenous to this country.
Yeah.
But if you look at the DNA genetic testing, that's not necessarily the case. I think what like 80 or 90%, and just let me, and you can respond in a second. I just want to say this real quick. Sorry, just last time I checked, about 80 or 90% of Black Americans' DNA is from Africa, and the other like 10-20% is like European. So this notion that like Black Americans were like somehow indigenous to America is just true. I just think that's something that's important to know.
Okay, so were all of the people who
go ahead, sorry.
Okay, so there's a great book by a colleague of mine, a brother named Chase McGee, called The 19 White Men Who Said That Black People Were Native to the U.S. And he has so many documents, so much proof of all of these European explorers, Balboa, Pizarro, Columbus, all of these people, Nunez, that they would come here, all the indigenous people, all of them, these people look like the same also in Ethiopia or Africa, or they look Moorish. These are terms for Black. They just kept saying it over and over again. Archaeological science digs shown that there were bones here dug up and excavated that were sub-Saharan African.
Really? Sub-Saharan African?
Yes. Luzia woman down in Brazil, one of the oldest fossils of a human in the Americas. They did a reconstruction. It's a damn Black woman. You can look it up, sir. There were Black people on this land for thousands of years. Not only that, Black people were here before the red Siberian-looking Asianoid Native Americans. We were here before them, before they walked.
Well, Tariq. Sorry, go ahead.
Again, I can just throw all types of receipts. You can look up paintings of the Ohlone Indians in California. There's paintings of them in the 1800s. They look like African tribes. There were Black people on the land. Black people were all over the world. Why wouldn't I'm asking you, do you think the people in Samoa, dark skin, afros, all in the Pacific Islands, You think black-looking people didn't reach North America?
Well, it's infinitely more complicated than that when you look at genetics. So I won't deny it's definitely possible that there could have been people from Africa who uh, found a way to get to the North American continent. But there's two problems with that. The first one is that there might be a small percentage and probably an inconsequential and negligible marginal percentage of FBAs who do
Nah, it
have
ain't no damn small.
indigenous.
It ain't no damn small marginal percentage. The vast majority. I'm gonna go on the record and say 99% all American Negroes have, in fact, Aboriginal ancestry, indigenous ancestry. Our people has always been here, white boy. That's why I say the more we keep pushing our message, family, the more we keep bringing our brothers and sisters in, because we got to look at the FBA brothers and so we in the same boat. They're my brothers. And we're pushing this Aboriginal We From Here movement, and we got to get it correct. Matter of fact, I'm going to go on another record. Not only to say that 98% of the Negro Americans, so-called Black Americans, are Aboriginal indigenous based off of their lineage and ancestry. I'm going to say that the vast majority of black of us don't even have no admixtures. We're damn near full-blooded Aboriginal, just mixed around from different nations, from different areas. So y'all got us fucked up when it comes to who we are. That's what makes us who we are. Let's go.
There might be a small percentage and probably an inconsequential and negligible marginal percentage of FBAs who do have indigenous DNA, but it's a very small percentage. Like I said, most of them genetically have African, predominantly African, and then some European DNA. That's not one. But the second thing I'll say is that it's possible, because genetics is weird like that. It's possible for like Chinese or European people to have more genetic flow and admixture with, say, people who, what's the name of this tribe? What's the name of the tribe? It's an Asian tribe, and they're off the coast of Australia, and it's a very small tribe, but they um, they they emigrated out of Africa. Well, okay, so when humans left Africa about 70,000 years ago to go to Europe and Asia. They immigrated out. They went to various parts of the Asian and European continent, and then they moved to all these small islands. So even though these people in these Aboriginals who live off the coast of Australia have more phenotypical similarities to like a sub-Saharan African, they actually have more genetic gene flow and admixture with Chinese and with Asians and with Europeans because there's less genetic drift. Because when people left Africa and then went to the Asian continent, after that,
Man, this dude just read a bunch of college books and he's just regurgitating, ain't did no discernment on it. He's a dumbass. This is the dumbest dude I've ever heard. He's talking about he's a mixed breed. Mulatto, come get your cousin. He making mulattoes look bad, fam. This is an agent, gang. What is he talking about? He thinks that black people from Africa, all people from the universe, every person on the planet that you ever seen, every person on every continent, every person in every island, every person in every mountain across the planet, all came from Africa, fam. That's what they pushing, man. We all come from that is stupidest shit I've ever heard of in my life. Every island, every crevice of the planet where people is, those people all came from Africa. Just think about it. Do that shit even make sense?
Aboriginal islands. So even though they look completely different, they actually have more genetic similarity. And so it could be the same situation with the people that you're referring to, where
but let me.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Here's the thing. That's really trying to pinch a straw because these people phenotypically look black.
Yes.
Fiji, these people, they'll tell you their origin. They came from Africa thousands of years ago. They'll tell you that, but they are basically.
Tariq be pushing this whole we come from Africa. No, they don't tell you that, and them motherfucking people. They was told that in schools. Motherfuckers in Fiji is under the same Western indoctrination that we. Are you? Come on, Tariq. We got to do better when we come to this. I know you just having a conversation, but bro, we not from Africa. Them motherfuckers is from Fiji. Is from Fiji,
nigga.
Yes.
Fiji. These people, they'll tell you their origin. They came from Africa thousands of years ago. They'll tell you that, but they are basically Polynesian to a certain degree. They had an ethnogenesis. That's called an ethnogenesis. Look, foundational Black Americans, we have a lot of European admixture. You understand? We had we have Aboriginal admixture. We do have African DNA as well, but we are a new ethnic group. We had a complete ethnogenesis. And the whole notion that we would not have Aboriginal lineage here, and we've been here longer than any damn body, that's impossible. That's ridiculous. Of course we do. Those Black Aboriginal people, what happened to them? They didn't just all disappear. You know, they were absorbed and they were just reclassified as Negro in many cases. Some were blended in with the $5 Indian whites, but we're still here. So to say that we don't have any Aboriginal DNA, that would historically and scientifically be incorrect. It would be impossible for us to not have it because we've been here too.
Okay, I mean, yeah, I just from the genetic testing that I'm aware of, this is the majority of Black Americans. I think that's the majority of Black Americans predominantly have DNA, and I'm talking like upwards of 80-90% from Africa. Then the other 10-20% is European with like some indigenous mixed in. That's my understanding.
The DNA tests don't list tribes. They don't list Aboriginal tribes. They don't have markers for them. There's no marker for a Creek Indian. Genetically, there's no such thing as a Creek Indian genetically, because a Creek Indian was somebody, the Europeans saw a bunch of Native Americans living by a creek and said, hey, you guys are Creek Indians. So genetically, there's something else. But they just got these titles. Most of these Native American tribes, they got their titles and names from Europeans or their experiences with Europeans. There's no such thing as a genetic Seminole. You understand? A Black person, genetically, they can be African. They'll have some African genetics. But the thing is, that doesn't mean that they were not a Seminole, because the Seminoles were Black for the most part.
See, that's what I disagree with. And I agree with Tariq on a lot of shit, but on this particular instance of historical analysis, I don't agree with nothing African inside of our people's blood. We don't have nothing African. And another thing, Tariq, is you can't really go off of that we genetically African when the oldest genetic DNA is found in America amongst a North Carolina Aboriginal brother. His name is Albert Perry. That's not an African, brother Tariq. He's genetically American. So the oldest genetics and where we come from, the oldest genetics that's in America is American. You know what I'm saying? Carolinian genetics. So we got to get that correct, family. You see what I'm saying? Make sure y'all go follow me on Twitter. Make sure y'all go follow me on Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff. Moderators is putting that information in the chat. Also, let's get a few people to support the channel, man. Hit that like button, thumb up the video, and if y'all want to hit that cash app, y'all can feel free. Y'all can feel free. Shout out to Marty. Marty sent in a donation earlier. Shout out to Marty. He said peace and bliss out, man. Peace and blessings to you as well. Appreciate you being the only person support today's live stream. We appreciate that, man. Hey, one to get it done.
Seminole was just an amalgamation of the word Cimarron, which meant runaway. You understand? So there are no markers for a lot of the Aboriginal tribes that were here. Everybody just kind of got thrown in one big category. And with those DNA tests, they pretty much put everybody in 3 places. You go to any DNA test, they're going to put you in Asia, Africa, and Europe. All of them. You understand? So those things are so damn vague that can't really accurately pinpoint what tribe is what. If you go to Fiji and do a DNA test on them, that shit is going to show some African DNA. You understand? African, Asian, possibly some European. So going by that, that's not a correct standard to go by when you just end on those DNA tests, because there are markers that they just don't have. A lot of the Aboriginal tribes, they were not federally recognized. So it's a whole bunch of things. Go ahead.
Well, so by that, by that logic, what race would you classify Black Americans as then, if African, European, and as you said, what is it, Asian are the 3 predominant racial groups?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what would you would classify Black people as Negroid, right?
Yeah,
you classify them as Negroid. Yeah, so
Black.
yeah, so, but you're saying they're like a unique ethnic group entirely? Black people, Black Americans?
No, we're not from outer space. No.
Yeah.
We're not from outer space, dude. I'm talking because people try to make it more complicated than what it is. We're just like what a Jamaican is. In Jamaica, Jamaicans are their own ethnic group. If you do a DNA test on a Jamaican, it's going to go to Africa and Europe, right?
Probably Africa, I would assume. If you like sample the Jamaican guy's DNA, it would probably.
I said it's going to go to Africa and Europe. That's what.
Not Europe. I doubt Europe.
No, but
I doubt it.
They mixed in with Irish. Yeah, they did. They were big. That's what the Jamaican accent is, an Irish accent. Irish real heavy. So yeah, it'll be some Irish stuff clicking in. But they're their own ethnic group based on their experiences on that island. Haitians are their own ethnic group. They're going to be traced back to Africa and France if you do some DNA testing on some Haitians.
Okay, let's just be real here for a second. If you take a random Jamaican guy's DNA and you sample it, it's going to be like pretty similar to like a sub-Saharan African. It's not going to give you like an Irish guy's, like the average Irish guy's DNA. They're going to have different alleles. They're going to have a different genotype, like completely different. So I would say it would probably map back to sub-Saharan Africa almost 100%.
Yeah, I didn't deny that. You say, yes, it's going to go to Africa, but it will probably have Irish in there too. You think some of them Irish weren't getting down with the Jamaicans, and some of those slave owners weren't raping the women over there? Huh?
They probably were. Almost certain they were.
Yeah, 100%. There's one guy named Thistlewood who did a whole diary of his rapes. He just raped hundreds of women and made a diary about it.
Man, all these people does this in the historical colonizers, and half of the stories, let's just be clear, they didn't even do. So what's even sicker is that they had delusions of grandeur about doing these disgusting things. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the people don't even respect the people who house this is. A lot of these immigrants coming to America and kiss the ass of the European and the beast, not understanding that this is our house, and they don't even pay us any respect. And they wonder why they keep asking us for their assistance, and they're protesting, you know, whether it's a Spanish getting locked up by ICE or fucking Haitians getting detained up in Brooklyn. We're not helping these guys. We've been delineating for the last 2-3 years as Aboriginal / FBA Americans. Our job is to wake our people up, stand on code, and protect ourselves. We've been handing our hand out to every other group that has came over here to America that has asked us for help, and in hopes, right? In hopes that they will come around and show some camaraderie or bring something to the table for us to help our situation. But no, they just pull up to our house, come to our house, pull up to the table, grab a plate, and start eating off the backs of your ancestors and the work that we have done. The blood, sweat, and tears. What's going on, Latancha, this one?
Shit, man, just listening to the bill.
Man, yeah, just cooking a little bit.
I tell you what, though. See, Tariq Nasheed, man, he don't know. He see the
he
problem
coming
is
around.
But he made a good point when he even said that these names, man, these names are bullshit, man. Like he said, Creek and all that shit. All these names, man. I got a whole dictionary of Indian names. And then for Cherokee, there's more than 40 different Cherokee names, man.
And you Choctaws, y'all niggas flatheads. Y'all
Come on, my
flatheads.
nigga. Yeah, the flathead. Who the fuck names you flathead? And see, the thing is, too, right? What a lot of motherfuckers don't do is when they reading from these sources.
Let's try to. No, you good. You good.
All right,
No, you good. You good.
I refrain from the cursing, no, but what a lot of people don't do is a lot of these authors and these people who be putting together a lot of this information. These ain't no people. These people who coming in observing this stuff, my dude. They're only observing it because we've been put to sleep. You understand? And I'm not saying Tariq Nasheed, but even with the whole DNA, all of this DNA stuff that they talking about is all pseudo. It's all pseudo. All DNA is pseudo, bro. Because if then from exception
that's
now,
why
even
that's what Tariq said. He said they ain't even no genetic markers for real Aboriginal nations. What is a Seminole genetics? What is an Aboriginal genetics? What is an American genetic?
I did a video years ago, AP, on there's no DNA that links any American Indians, my dude. There's no DNA because they're not doing DNA because they already know where it's gonna come back to. And see, the thing of it is that they didn't convolute it. They didn't open up. You know how they didn't let all a can of fucking snakes and shit, man. Because at the end of the day, this whole argument that this guy saying, yeah, he sound educated. See, what a lot of people want to hear is a person with a well-structured argument, right? But the well-structured. No, go ahead.
But talking about the guy that Tariq having a conversation with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is cool. It seems nice, but it's passive aggressive.
That's right.
I hate a passive aggressive piece of shit. Excuse my French. Just go ahead and let it out. Let it out.
Yeah,
and sometimes your questioning and his questioning and your answer, the more you answer, the more he questioned, the more you pull out his true intentions. That's how a passive aggressive person works. The more you conversate, the more you pull it out. Eventually it's going to be, disrespect. It's going to be to the point where it's disrespect. But they always start off, well, I'm just here to ask questions. I'm not here to be disrespectful. You know, so we're going to listen to some more of this conversation, though. But
real quick, let me say one last thing, right? So even when Tariq Nasheed said that the Polynesian people said they can't listen, the Polynesian person who said that went to a European school and was told that lie. Ain't no connection. Like, remember when we did the bill with the Sindanese people, man, and they were saying, oh, the Sindanese people came from Africa 80,000 years ago. What evidence do you have that's going to prove that? Only because they got dark skin. So they already, every person on the world who got dark skin, they created this story that they came from Africa.
It became a template. It became a cookie cutter lineage insert. Everybody got the same history template. It's a blueprint to your history, which is slave, put on a boat, brought over here, work, got your freedom. Now you doing whatever you're doing now. That's the fake narrative. And so for people to be able to, and people can read all these historical books and regurgitate all these historical books and sound as articulate as possible. But if you have no discernment, if you're not cross-referencing,
the whole DNA concept came from eugenesis. The Human Genome Project is a eugenicist talking point. All of this and all of these Pan-Africans run up here, and you don't like the European, but you're using all the European science, my dude, and you're not cross-referencing it to even see. Even when they tell you it's not true, you still make up arguments to try to disprove the experts. Like all them niggas who be on side of the TV talk all this DNA stuff. None of them are scientists. You just reading articles like we all doing. So the only way you can dictate is by listening to the experts. If the experts are disagreeing with the other experts who all went to the same form of school. You understand what I'm saying? They all took biology. I don't know how many biologies they took, but I know I took 5 biologies. I took 100 level and 200 level biologies. You understand what I'm saying? And even when you look, and I just say this,
At the end of the day, us having these conversations, and a lot of the community done strayed away from what we laid down the blueprint on. But getting back to the information, disproving the narrative and the scientific community in their lives, we have always done that, and I feel like we got to stay on that because our work is being impactful. Now, 23andMe has recently filed for bankruptcy. 23andMe has recently filed for bankruptcy. Let me show y'all this on the screen, y'all. If y'all ain't see it, if y'all can let me know. Look, 23andMe filed for bankruptcy. What does it mean for your data?
Bro, I got a whole bill on this coming up, bro. And I went back to the Joker who created the spit in the tube, because they said at first it was tested from blood. And then they started to use the spit in the tube, which they already said that that's an inaccurate test. Because
the reason it's inaccurate for as far as DNA analysis is because, like you said, you need to get other different variants. But the reason they need it is because inside of your mouth, inside of your saliva, there's something that's called skin cells. Inside of those skin cells, they have stem cells.
Yeah, because technically saliva is a form of DNA, right? The saliva is a form of DNA, just like
different forms of DNA, right? So you got skin that shed, you got hair, you got spit, you got DNA, and like I said, you got hair follicles. You see what I'm saying? You got various different forms of DNA that can be analyzed to prove that they come from a particular person.
But when you go back to the origins of DNA structure, the heliocortex or whatever they call it, right? It's made of glucose and protein. CTGA is all protein, but them proteins also break down to the elements: earth, fire, water, and air. You understand what I'm saying? So now, if they telling you earth, fire, water, and air, the earth, fire, water, and air has different how you want to say it has different scientific breakdowns. Some air is more pure than other air. Some earth is more pure than other earth, meaning the minerals that's in the earth that builds your genetic structure. Now, the other day, I was just telling Cosmo, because Cosmo said that you can't change your DNA. That's bullshit. Because even like you can go from when like let's look at it from a bodybuilding perspective, right? Or from a nutritionist perspective, right? If before you lift weights, right, your genetic structure, if you was a skinny
I think his mic went out, y'all. Hey, if y'all with me, drop a fire emoji if y'all can hear me. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Drop a fire emoji. I think he lost some signal.
You understand? Oh, you might say.
I'm gonna mute you up real quick. You was going crazy with the static real quick, but you was breaking this shit down with the DNA though, for real. Okay, we can't wait to see that pay-per-view. Matter of fact, let's get back to the information. We making this community great again, man. We're whatever going on, shout out to whatever. We getting back to the information. It is what it is. Niggas just internet entertainers and gossipers, and they ain't trying to get active. So let's get back to what I came around this count for, which is to drop this fire ass information, give y'all correct, accurate sources, and stand on our American business, man, defend our culture and gatekeep our accomplishments and in our inventions and our innovations, man. So shout out to the real ones in the building, man. If y'all want to support the channel, Cash App information is pinned at the top of the live stream. Don't be a fake one, be a real one. Let's get back to some of this content. We got my brother A1 up here with us too, man. So hey, let's get into it.
Thomas Thistlewood. He was a big slave owner over there in Jamaica. So yeah, you're gonna have some some European.
Also, man, like I said, shout out to everybody in the building. Drop a fire emoji if my audio is cool. I want to make sure that my audio is cool to you guys on you guys' end. So let me know. Let's
Their
get
population died during the Black Plague.
Yeah, even before that, even before the Black Plague, they had the Justinian plague.
That I wasn't familiar with.
Right, which damn near wiped everybody out. And the reason why they were able to get healed, the Moors came in 711. The Justinian plague officially ended around 725. So the
boom. He killing them. So he's breaking down his own European ancestry. Negroes and people have always run around helping the world. Contribution built the world. Europe wasn't a nothing. It was a nothing burger. It was a nothing burger. Let's get to it though. Let me run it back a little bit so y'all can get into it. Let's go. Shout out to everybody in the building, man. Smack that like button.
prosperous country without us, based on the facts, based on the results. I'm saying before 1619, the Europeans failed. So you can't say that we contribute to the.
Before 1619, any European colonists that came here, there was no settlements by European colonists in 1619. I mean, before 1619, that was of any significant factor. And most of them that came mostly died out from starvation. The other ones got ran out by the indigenous Aboriginal Negroes. You feel what I'm saying? Hell, the first colony that was ever came over here, funded by Sir Walter Raleigh in the 1500s, was the Roanoke colony. You know, they end up setting up in what is known as Roanoke, here in Roanoke, North Carolina. And they got ran out, man. They got ran out. You fast forward to the middle 1600s, you got John Rolfe and a lot of these European pilgrim settlers sitting in, and you got King Paul running around laying the law. They was doing an agreement with them, right? So King Powhatan was like, look, we're going to make a little agreement. And one of his homies was like, listen, we don't trust them. We caught a couple of them snooping around our garden after you told them not to. So what happened was they cut off all communication with the earlier settlers. The Powhatan did. And this sparked the whole era that they call the starving time. It's written in history as the starving time. The Powhatan. Y'all can look it up. I did a whole exclusive build on it where they starved these people out in these particular colonies in Virginia. These European colonies were starved out to the point where they was eating their pregnant women, children, and they was digging up the unalive buried bodies and consuming them. So yeah, man, it gets crazy, bro. It gets crazy around here. Trust me. People have been Bigfoot stomping around.
Failed. So you can't say that we contribute to the greatness and the. I'm saying before 1619, the Europeans failed. So you can't say that we contribute to the greatness and the building of this country. Who else did it? The Europeans didn't do it without us. If they could do it, why didn't they do it themselves? And Europe wasn't shit at the time. It was nothing going on in Europe.
Really? No, that's not true. That's just false.
The 1600s, these people were
Rome, Greece, the British Empire.
The British Empire. The British Empire wasn't the British Empire.
British Empire wasn't the British Empire then. Rome had already long gone. Greece had already been destroyed by 400 years at that point. So what are you talking about?
Yet Rome and Greece had been failed. That fell in the 6th century or the 4th century, something like that. Yeah,
They lasted thousands of years.
That was hundreds of years ago. Rome fell by the Vandals and the Visigoths. They sacked Rome, and then Europe fell into a damn dark age. Half the people in Europe died off.
Yeah, there was the Black Plague, but I'm saying civilizationally speaking, they were competent. They did succeed, and that we still see that. Like,
no, sir, no, you're not going to sit here and act like that whole period of the Dark Ages didn't exist. If they were so successful, why did they sit up there starving and dying all that time? And it was black people who got them out of that. It was the Moors who had to save them from that. Huh?
I have never heard of that before in my life. The Moors, sir, the Moors.
Everybody knows that. Everybody know that the Moors came and brought medicine from the Americas over to Europe. Now let's pull up the facts because everybody know when you go and look up the statistics, you can go and look them up from various different verifiable websites right here. All right, that's just to show you a quick couple sources, right? And I got one pulled up, right? We're gonna go to that in just a second. But 30 to 60% died. Population died in Europe, man, unalive. And in Europe, in Southern Europe, 70 to 80% were gone. Like literally wiped down to none. That's why after the dark ages in Americas, they start using our old technology, which I'm not even gonna get into, and started the booming orphan trains, these newly arrived white slaves in the booming industry of the incubator babies, what we call the repopulation era during the uh the late 1700s. You see what I'm saying? So we're not even going to get into all that right now, but just the fact that Europe was a dying state and that the Moors brought medicines that was indigenous to the Americas over there to Europe. Why would they? How would they even know to get the medicine from America if they're not from here? And how was they able to maneuver through some of these hostile tribes that obviously treated the settlers? And how was they able to communicate if they didn't know the language? So we gotta. It's a couple questions that we gotta ask because the story just doesn't fill in those blanks. This is why Big Aboriginal Power is here to do that for y'all. Shout out to the real
Or saved Europe?
Yes.
I have never heard of that in my life.
Heard the term "thank heaven for 7-Eleven"?
No, I've never heard that. This is the first. Didn't they go to Spain?
Yeah, but the technology from Spain, from the Moors, that spread all over Europe. That's why Spain was the only country, that was the first country to leave Europe and go explore the world because of the technology from the Moors. All of the universities that were in Europe initially were the big universities were in Spain during the medieval times. That's what people were going to learn. That was a Moorish stronghold. There's black folks over there running.
Well, I can't. We're kind of straying away. We're trying to straying away to Spain. I wanted to focus more so on America because I'm not too familiar with European history. I'll be honest.
But you didn't know that? You didn't know that the Europeans damn near died off?
No, I knew that. I knew like half their population died during the Black Plague.
Yeah, even before that, even before the Black Plague, they had the Justinian plague.
That I wasn't familiar with.
Right, which damn near wiped everybody out. And the reason why they were able to get healed, the Moors came in 711. The Justinian plague officially ended around 725. So the Moors came in with medicines, alcohol, science, technology. They literally saved Europe.
Okay, hold on. I need to make sure that's accurate because I've never heard that.
Hmm? Yeah, start Googling.
I'm not saying it's false. Sorry,
I know it ain't false. Google. Yeah, start Googling.
This is fascinating. I've never heard this.
Yeah, they were dying off up there, and they would have.
It's saying it's partially true.
Oh yeah. They'll give up. They'll give it up a little bit. It's true.
Nigga, it ain't said that it's no fucking partially true. Either it's true or it's not true. It ain't no in between. Ain't no in between truths. Either it's true or it's not true. They always trying to spin a narrative, family. Why do they always spin a narrative like that? Shout out to everybody that's in the building, though, man. Let's keep it going.
Yeah, they were dying off up there, and they
would have. It's saying it's partially true.
Oh yeah. They'll give up. They'll give it up a little bit. It's true. It's 100% true. It's not partially true. Europe wasn't shit. But
are the Moors considered black? I thought the Moors were. I thought the Moors were like a mixture of
more literally black. It literally.
I thought Moor meant Muslim.
No, because you had Christian Moors. You had why am I drawing the blank? You had Saint Maurice, who was a Christian. There's a statue of him in Germany. Look up Saint Maurice.
Well, look, Tariq, I'll be honest with you. I'm very skeptical of your history because your history is
okay. is
selective.
No, okay. Are you? I know you're googling right now. Google Saint Maurice of Germany.
Of Germany?
Yep, Saint
Okay.
Maurice. And tell me what you see.
Yeah, he was black, obviously.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay.
He was a Christian, the Christian Moor. He was a martyr for Christianity, and they revere him in Germany. They got a bunch of statues of him in Germany. There was a lot of them. Moor means black. Whenever they talked about Moors historically, they were talking about black people. There were Moors who happened to be Muslims because Moors were practicing Islam. But yeah, the Moors were generally black people, based on all the descriptions, based on all of the paintings and everything else. And it was black Moors who were saving the Europeans. And when the Spanish came over, they brought some of those black Moors with them. They brought over Moors like Juan Garrido, who was a black Moor who was down in Mexico, who was the first person to cultivate wheat down in Mexico. And he built one of the first churches down there, the Church of San Hipólito. You had bringing Moors to Canada. Mateo da Costa was one of the Moors that they brought over there. These Moors, for some reason, knew the languages here. When they brought the Spanish, when the Spanish came here, they had a man named Estevanico the Moor in North America. He was really the first foreigner to trek through what we now know as North America. That's what
that I have not heard. That I have never heard in my life.
You never heard about Estevanico?
No, I've never heard of that person.
Google Estevanico the Moor. Google it. We're doing a learning session now. See, you're learning a lot right now. Google Estevanico the Moor. Okay. And then there's about him. Then read out.
Estevanico.
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 Yeah.
Oh, here they are.
Okay, what does it say?
Let me see. What is he famous for? The first African to traverse Texas, and in the company of 3 Spaniards re-entered Texas from Mexico. Okay, so he was one of the earliest, I guess, African travelers to reach the North American continent. But are you sure he was? Are you sure he was African or black? Because they're saying it's Spanish. He's Spanish.
No,
none of these people are really African that's going over there to Spain, that's going over there to Europe. We're talking about Aboriginal people, but this is ahead of this conversation. He's slow. He's seeing it, and it almost seems like he knows what he's talking about, but I'm not for sure. What do y'all think? Y'all think this dude is an agent provocateur based off of what y'all heard so far? Let me know in the chat, man. Let's get these likes up too, man. Let's get these likes up. All we need is a few more. And if you in the building, man, if you really rocking with the brother, man, because I'm rocking with y'all and I'm rocking with the squad, we on code. Share the live stream, family. Share the live stream and thumb up the video. All right, let's go.
African travelers to reach the North American continent. But are you sure he was? Are you sure he was African or black? Because they're saying it's Spanish. He's Spanish.
No, but he was.
Oh, he was Moor.
He was a Moor. He was. There were a lot of Moors who were black in Spain. So a lot of folks come over and they'll say that they're Spanish, but they were really black.
Interesting.
They had a Spanish nationality. See, this is what I'm saying. Nationality and DNA and all of that is different. They'll say somebody is Spanish on paper, but the thing is, they have African DNA. They have black DNA. Just over there in the Dominican Republic, they have a whole bunch of people who were buried with Christopher Columbus, and they did an excavation on them. A lot of the people with Columbus who came over with him, they had African DNA.
You gotta admit, like it's hard for me not to be reflexively skeptical because I've never heard any of this. But I guess that's the American education system. But
well, I'm giving you names. I'm having you look it up in real time.
Yeah.
Verify. I'm not just whistling Dixie. I can give you the scholarship. You see.
Well, look, let's go back to this because this is the crux of.
Right now, let's go back to the building of the United States.
Yes.
That's not us being hyperbolic. No, we built the United States. It wasn't white daddy. All right.
Well, I mean,
they failed.
Yeah,
they couldn't.
People always like to take away our credit, and they hate to give it to us when we prove it to them. You know what I'm saying? That's just like these Haitians. The Haitians love trying to take credit, and these Caribbeans love trying to take A lot of these tethers, you know now the conversation is that the Caribbeaners started the Bloods in New York and Jersey. The Caribbeaners started the Bloods. Y'all know there's a conversation, right? I don't know if y'all know that or not, but that is a conversation that people has been having. And I want y'all to listen to this shit. We're gonna play a little clip of it. Let's get into it. Man, drop those fire emojis if y'all can hear me. I dropped some fire emojis. Let's get it. Man. Drop those fire emojis.
Also a
Let's
Caribbean and
go.
Africa holiday, but you
And
don't.
no, it wasn't. It was also out there in North Carolina and South Carolina too. They were practicing out there in North Carolina, South Carolina too. So they were doing it here.
But why you don't mention that on the FBA site?
Why should I?
I mean, that's kind of, you kind of give a half history about the holiday.
Well, how come
The
y'all don't
festival.
mention? How come you don't create a site and mention it? Y'all don't mention it at all. Y'all don't mention it nowhere.
No, I'm not trying to come. I'm just asking why you don't mention it like more like it's practice across the whole diaspora, not just in
Well,
America
most people don't
also.
know about it at all. I'm talking about how it got popping over here and as it related to our freedom. So I don't want to have to just give a whole soliloquy of the shit. Yeah, it's just not necessary. The point is already made.
Do you plan on doing it this year or next year?
Doing what this year?
John Canoe.
I've never done a John Canoe celebration. Never. Where'd you
Oh,
get that? I've
oh,
never done a John Canoe celebration.
so you don't plan on like celebrating it in America?
I've never done a John Canoe celebration. I acknowledged how it was used during the holidays to distract slave owners so that we can get our freedom. They would have the John Canoe celebration to make a lot of noise and we would get our freedom. So I would relate it to our land of freedom, how we got freedom. I've never had a John Canoe celebration. Some of y'all got to get y'all lies right. Y'all just be saying shit. Y'all be coming up with these bullshit ass talking points because y'all don't really have anything to discredit. So y'all just be coming up with anything. Where in the Caribbean is your family from, man?
What does it matter?
Stop being ashamed of your lineage, bro.
I'm not ashamed of my
You're from
lineage,
the
but I just came
Caribbean.
in to ask.
Every time you ask these people where they from and you know that they're tether or immigrant, you be like, hey, where you from, fam? They be ashamed. They be ashamed of their homeland. They find it offensive when we ask them where they from. Nigga, what do you mean, nigga? Where am I from? It doesn't mean nothing. No, it doesn't mean shit to you because you flooded, so you have no pride of it. You know we gonna bash it. It's just a shanty town.
Man.
What does it matter?
Stop being ashamed of your lineage, bro.
I'm not ashamed of my
You're from
lineage,
the
but I just came
Caribbean.
in to ask some questions.
I'm asking questions too. You're from the Caribbean. What part of the Caribbean? The Bahamas or Jamaica?
I'm from Jamaica.
Right, I can hear it. Just say that. All right? There's nothing wrong with that. I can hear your Jamaican accent. Now, what issues do you have with us delineating? Because that's what this really about. Don't ask me these bad faith questions. You just don't like that we delineated, do you?
No, I don't. I really don't care.
You do
I
care.
just
You hear mad. You hear trying to concoct some type of gotcha. Ogun, you made money on some
I was
Ogun.
just the reason why I asked about Ogun because I thought it was kind of interesting if you delineate from the rest of the black diaspora in the continent how you able to sell Ogun juice in the Ogun hoodie.
Because I can. Because y'all
So
don't own it. Y'all don't own Ogun. Y'all don't own that.
so I'm saying you shouldn't have no problem with Africans quote unquote cosplaying because you're kind of cosplaying the Yoruba tradition.
No, because Ogun is an ancient deity, and it doesn't really have a geographic location. That doesn't.
But it's not an
Is
FBA deity.
but is Ogun? Is he living in a village musty right now? Where is Ogun now?
I mean, Ogun is part of the Yoruba tradition. It's not a
Okay.
part of the
When you break down this shit all has American origins.
Black Americans are native to America.
They are indigenous.
Majority. You said majority of Black Americans.
See, look, he's slow. Let's run this back. So
we can claim. I can claim ancient Kemet. I can claim some of the great things that happened in Africa thousands of years ago, but you can't claim our stuff though.
You can't claim that shit in Egypt because your people did create it. Jamaican man, my people's created Egypt, and we the indigenous peoples here. So the pyramids here you can't mention without mentioning my peoples. So the pyramids is down the street. They gotta mention your ancestors.
But don't you claim to be a Native American? So it's plenty of Native American deities you could make money off of.
He said Native American. No, we're indigenous aboriginals, dummy.
Plenty of Native American deities you could make money off of.
When did I say I was a Native American?
I heard you plenty of times say that Black Americans are native to America.
They are indigenous.
Majority. You said majority of Black Americans is native.
They are indigenous to the United States. What did I just say right now? I said we are indigenous to the United States.
Okay, indigenous. So you should find some indigenous deities where you can make money off of instead of the people you delineated from.
Everything we've done is indigenous here that we make money off of. Our music is indigenous to foundational Black Americans that y'all come over and cosplay as. Our foods are indigenous to foundational Black Americans. So we always come up with indigenous things to foundational Black Americans that we create and y'all come over and kind of leech off of. So we do that all the time, right?
But isn't selling African deity leeching off Africa? You can find an indigenous deity to leech off of.
No. So is Ogun, is he going to complain?
I'm saying if the Yoruba people complain, if the Yoruba people
complaining and they don't have no Ogun juice. Where's their Ogun juice? Am I taking Ogun juice money out of their little musty pockets? Huh? They don't have none.
I'm saying if
they don't have none. They don't have none. So
I think if they were selling 50-cent shirts or some Black American shirt, I think you would have a problem with that. If they was making money.
Well, if everybody has a problem with some of the scams that they run over there. They make money off all types of scams. So we don't want to go there. You want to talk about who makes money scamming, and you want to talk about West Africa? You don't really want to go there. All right. Because they come over and just scam left and right. They make scams, make money off scamming nursing degrees. They make money scamming doctor degrees. They make money scamming college diplomas, the whole shebang. So yeah, you don't really want to get into the scamming. I ain't doing that. At least I'm giving homage to an ancient deity without having to scam anybody. And also they talked about Ogun over here in the Caribbean, well, in the Western Hemisphere in the Caribbean. So again, Ogun was everywhere. So it wasn't just over there in Africa. Ogun was all over the place.
So when you say, when you say you delineate, what exactly do you mean by that? Does that include the culture or that's just like, what do you mean when you say delineation?
We mean we're acknowledging our lineage. That's it. We're acknowledging our unique foundational Black American lineage. We are not continental Africans. That's what we mean.
So if that's all it is, why come with the slander, and the propaganda?
Stop, because nobody slanders people more than you Tethers. Y'all bring y'all asses over here, and for decades, y'all ate off of our civil rights struggles. Y'all ate off our political gains, and y'all would come over here and get
so Stokely Carmichael ate off.
Don't. Man, did you? Okay, hold on. Did you say something about Stokely Carmichael? Let's go there. Say what? What'd you say? Say it again.
Are you saying Stokely? Did you say? Are you trying to say Stokely Carmichael?
Go there. Let's go there. Say it again. Say Stokely. Say it again, because I'm about to go there. Because y'all love bringing up Stokely Carmichael. Say it again.
Are you saying Stokely Carmichael ate off Black Americans?
I'm gonna say this. When shit got hot, Stokely Carmichael got the out of here, didn't he?
Okay, what does that mean?
Do we need to go there? Do we really need to go there? Because I like Stokely Carmichael, but let's keep it a bean. When shit got hot, Stokely put them flip-flops on and got the hell on up out of here. All right.
But did he
So
not fight?
Y'all stop bringing up Stokely like it's a flex. All right. I respect to Stokely. He did some great things. But when the shit got hot, them flip-flops got the flipping. All right. He got the hell up out of here. A lot of us still stayed here and stood on business. He got the hell on. All right. So let's not bring up Stokely Carmichael all the time like that's some kind of flex. It ain't the flex y'all think it is.
Brother, all I'm saying is if you could just slander the Caribbean and Africa.
Slander who? Who's slandered? Slandered how? Who are you? Who's being slandered?
I'm saying you slander.
That's what they use now. They try to use that slandered word because we call out their scams and we call out their criminal activity and we point out their undermining. Now we're talking about their slander. No, we're talking about the facts. And you guys come over here, you guys committing a lot of these crimes get dumped on us. Stokely was a goddamn agent. I'm gonna say it because Tariq ain't gonna say it. He was a damn agent. Suspected agent at that. At least
The Caribbean and Africa all day.
No, I don't. I've never slandered anybody.
You slander the Caribbean and Africa every day.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
And undermine them and then make.
No, I don't. I don't.
Now, by the way, that term slander, you notice he keeps saying that in his live stream. And the other dude that we just listened to that was claimed to be half Aboriginal or FBA, they used the term slander. That's what a lot of these agents do because that's a criminal act. That's a criminal charge. So when you constantly hear that slandered word get through around, they're usually trying to pry you to accept it so it can be accepted charges probably out of the.
No, I don't. I've never slandered anybody.
You slander the Caribbean and Africa every day.
No, I don't. No, I don't. No, I
and
don't.
undermine them and then make.
No, I don't. I don't slander nobody, and I'm cool with Caribbeans. I go to the Caribbean all the time. I don't slander anybody. I check people for disrespecting us. The days of y'all disrespecting us after you eat off us, those days are over. You will get the business, but I don't slander anybody.
Who is undermining Black Americans?
You Tethers.
Like give us some examples.
Obama, Kamala Harris, Sheila Jackson Lee, Wes Moore, all of these people getting into political positions and f***ing us over and messing up our money. No, yeah, I'm telling you, you wanted names, I'm giving you names. All right, don't talk over me. I'm giving you names. Half the damn Congressional Black Caucus full of damn tethers who do nothing but undermine us. The list goes on and on.
But according to your
the same thing to you guys. We don't go over there to Jamaica messing up your reparations claims or getting your tax dollars and funneling to us and all of that. We don't do that.
Is Westmore an FBA?
No, he's a tether. He's a Caribbean tether like you. He's a tether. He ain't FBA.
Well, according to your own website, officialfba.com, you said to be an FBA, you must have at least one parent that's a foundational Black American.
He has some lineage. I don't even believe that, to be honest. I don't believe that.
His family fought in the Revolutionary War.
I don't believe that. I don't. Tethers be lying. I don't believe that.
You don't gotta believe his evidence.
No, ain't no
it's
evidence.
a fact.
Tethers just be saying shit.
So are you now changing the definition of what an FBA is now?
But Tethers be lying. Tethers be lying about their damn lineage.
Brother, he's a part of the Sons of the Revolutionary War, so he can't be lying.
Tethers be lying because he loves bigging up his Caribbean and his immigrant status, and he loves to do a lot of stuff for fellow immigrants. And he should not be a representative of us.
So you have no.
First of all, I don't really believe him because of the contempt he have for our lineage. Second, let's say he is half FBA. He still shouldn't be our representative. And we even talk about that on the website. We don't need people with dual allegiances being in authoritative positions representing us because they're going to be conflicted, sir. And that's the problem. Just like with Native American tribes. In order to be a chief of a Native American tribe, many people, both of your lineages had to go back to a certain bloodline. Because people with dual allegiances, they would split the difference. They would do things to kind of undermine one part of the bloodline. So yeah.
So what's
acts like a funky tether. So
What
that's
separate Westmore from Malcolm X?
Malcolm X was a rider for us. Malcolm X stood up for the foundational Black American community. His dad was a foundational Black American. So y'all try to find somebody who is half FBA, but you got to look at what they've done historically and how did they ride for the community. He rode for the Black community over here. He was a rider under the tutelage.
He reaching so hard. He gonna probably throw out like 3 more names out of his little tether hat.
Of foundational Black American Elijah Muhammad. So put everything in context.
But he died. He died a Pan-African. So I see you got a lot of problem with Pan-African. So
You got a problem with Pan-Africanists. No. Nobody has more of a problem with Pan-Africans than Caribbeans and Africans. Y'all can't stand Pan-Africanism. And let's not play games. You Jamaican, y'all couldn't stand Marcus Garvey. All right, don't talk about we don't like Pan-Africanism. Y'all couldn't stand Marcus Garvey, and Marcus Garvey told y'all weren't shit. That's why he went over to Britain and died. He said y'all ain't shit over there in Jamaica. When he went back to Jamaica after he got exiled from here, he ran for office, and your folks elected a white man over him. So yeah, don't tell me nothing about no Pan.
Marcus Garvey even said Jamaicans ain't shit. That's crazy.
Africans than Caribbeans and Africans. Y'all can't stand Pan-Africanism, and let's not play games. You Jamaican, y'all couldn't stand Marcus Garvey. All right, don't talk about we don't like Pan-Africanism. Y'all couldn't stand Marcus Garvey, and Marcus Garvey told y'all weren't shit. That's why he went over to Britain and died. He said y'all ain't shit over there in Jamaica. When he went back to Jamaica after he got exiled from here, he ran for office, and your folks elected a white man over him. So yeah, don't tell me nothing about no Pan-Africanism. Y'all are the least Pan-African people on the planet. Y'all don't give a shit about Africa or the Caribbean. Y'all only care about fleeing over here under us to get what we done fought for. Let's be real.
Fleeing under. I think Caribbeans had done some of the most amazing things in America for Black Americans.
Like what?
I mean, we could from Marcus Garvey all the way.
Nigga, Marcus Garvey ain't did shit but to our people besides sell us a fake ideology of a Black diaspora and kumbaya with all the blacks around the world. And guess what happened when we got on? Nigga, he sold us into a burning bush. Nigga, Marcus Garvey created the point of a lot of you stupid niggas having the idea that a lot of these Black immigrants are our people. He was pushing that all skin folk are kinfolk. When your grandmama been telling you that all skin folk ain't kinfolk.
Hey, look, hey, don't forget, man, Marcus Garvey teamed up with Severe Cox, Severe Cox, his protege was who? Walter Plecker, right?
Walter Plecker. Severe Cox was the leader of the KKK who lived in River, Tennessee. Yeah.
We never needed no fucking. And what the fuck do we need Marcus Garvey for when Jacob Astor owned the Titanic? You understand? So it's like, niggas, we already had nothing Marcus Garvey can bring us over here. Marcus Garvey came over here trying to undermine what the fuck we was doing. He was always an agent. And listen, Judge Joe Brown, he goes in on what's my man name? Kwame Ture, or what's his other name he gets said?
Stokely Carmichael.
Stokely Carmichael. Stokely Carmichael was an agent. Stokely Carmichael is the one that came up with the term black. Marcus,
he the one ushered in that term. Yeah, he ushered in that term. Go ahead, drop that shit.
Stokely Carmichael, that nigga went over to Africa. He was an FBI, CIA agent. Look, Judge Joe Brown be going in on these niggas, like, because he said he was there. Stokely Carmichael was what? Part of SNCC, right? He was part of SNCC, right? SNCC was fighting against the Black Panthers. Also, the nigga who created Kwanzaa, right? He was also a CIA agent, right? That was there to undermine the shit. So all of them that was dealing with SNCC. The only one that was dealing with SNCC that wasn't like that was what's his name? H. Rap Brown. He was down with them, and he realized later on that they was undermining them because they was killing Black Panthers. Judge Joe Brown's been talking about he been talking about all this shit, man. Like, I'm just saying on that. I don't agree with Judge Joe Brown on everything, but Judge Joe Brown, he said he was in LA when Snick was in LA, and with the nigga Ron Karenga, which is the nigga that created Kwanzaa, said he was an agent or whatever. He was saying H. Rap Brown was an agent too, but H. Rap Brown, they got FBI papers on him, and not FBI papers is dealing with him being a fucking agent, my nigga. He was going against Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, talking out against them niggas. You understand what I'm saying? So now these niggas, and like I said, see Tariq Nasheed, and I'm not saying like he learning, but at the same token, he don't like niggas read one thing and they never listen to the opposition of any of this shit, man. So it's like, you like a lot of these niggas regurgitate. We research. I'm a researcher, and I'm not a motherfucker who just puts something in the Google search and then find something. That's not research. That's searching. We research. I find oppositions to the official conversation and see which one weighs heaviest. Like we did with the Aborigines, like we did with all of this shit. So, these niggas don't know what the fuck they be talking about, my nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they really don't know. And like I said, Tariq Nasheed, if his ego wasn't so big, he'll come over here and learn. He already done learned from us because he talking about Luzia, but he don't know nothing about Naya. He don't know nothing about the other skeletons that was found throughout the Americas. He don't know that. He just talk about Luzia. You know what I'm saying? But, at least at the minimum, at least he is learning that. You know what I'm saying? So, peace to God, peace to God.
For sure.
So,
listen, man,
go
I just
ahead.
want my people to wake up, though, man. We don't have no allies. We delineating. It's for us. We gatekeeping our culture. You know what I'm saying? We're highlighting our inventions and our innovations, man.
Make the Aboriginal Indian community great again. A nigga try to check me, right? Because on TikTok I post videos of the shit when I be talking to people, right? A nigga try to check me talking about some you a Moor. Hi, now you claiming Indian. You niggas ain't got no monopoly on the word fucking Indian, nigga. I was saying Indian before niggas had YouTube channels or before niggas even knew they was Indian.
Right.
So you can't tell me nothing, nigga. I'm the high authority. I'm one of the high authorities around this motherfucker. Listen, I didn't from conversations that we didn't had that I didn't had. Niggas got whole series and whole YouTube channels because of that. None of these niggas, like I said, there's some brothers who then went further with some of the research, which that's good. But the foundation was already laid. The foundation was already laid to this shit, nigga. So you can't come and tell me I'm an Indian, Aborigine, Tonton, and a motherfucking Moor. And if you don't like it, fuck you. You can't tell me who the fuck I am. You know what I'm saying? I'm a direct descendant of Tontons that's from this land. I ain't no black European. I ain't got no other ancestry. My great grandmother was half white. But other than that, that's that. You know what I'm saying? So like I know, you know what I'm saying, for my genealogy been done. And I went back as far as I want to go back. The 1700s, that's great. I got more than 10 ancestors who are documented as either Yamasis, right? Creek, or Tisauji, which most niggas say Cherokee. So, nigga, my shit is already solidified. So you niggas running around talking about you're an Aborigine, you can't say Indian or whatever. I know Indian mean Nino Indio or Los Indios. You understand what I'm saying? And then I also know the other shit that niggas talking about come from the word indigo.
Nigga, at the end of the day, I don't know who the fuck said that, but they dumb as hell. They dumb.
Yeah, talking about we can't claim Indian. And, nigga, listen, my nigga, it ain't no dispute. It's only certain people who using
You
that
niggas
because
can't stop. You little niggas can't stop it. You just on the internet talking. Ain't gonna drop no information to prove nothing or nothing. Just talking. Ain't gonna do shit. We Indians, nigga, and we Aboriginals, and we FBA, nigga. So now what?
Yeah, but that's AAP. Like you said, make the community great again, because motherfuckers is having these weird conversations. Like I said, man, listen,
Yeah, we getting back to the info, man. I got some more heat coming up for y'all. Don't even trip, man. But I'm about to get up out of here, man. I got some shit to do. I'm up in the northeast, man. I might pull up on you, man. I'm not too far from you, man. I might pull up on you later on.
Where you at?
Early? Shit.
Nigga, I'm about to go to the motherfucking beach, nigga. I'm about to
Where
go
you
jump
going
up
to?
in that
You going to?
motherfucker.
Where you going to? South Jersey?
Yeah, I'm going. Well, yeah, South Jersey. Yeah, I'm about to go to the motherfucking beach, nigga. I'm about to jump in that motherfucking water like Flipper, like motherfucking a fucking dolphin and shit, nigga. I'm going swimming. You niggas could sit here and have these motherfucking useless, worthless builds or whatever. And like I said, I got a bunch of shit coming up. And I don't even want to say it because it be too many niggas who be going back, you say something and niggas go back and try to hurry and create a video before you do it or put your shit up in their shit. Like, nah, I ain't saying nothing, but I need to get with you because I got a heavyweight bill coming up, bro. Just on the pyramids alone. You know what I'm saying? And I'm putting that out there because that's our shit, nigga. The pyramids is our shit, nigga. You know what I'm saying? But on the pyramids and the mounds. And I already got like 300 pyramids. And I still, and it's still, bro, it's so many motherfucking pyramids, nigga. Like, yo, this shit, I'm already like at 400 slides. Just off of like fucking 100 pyramids, my nigga. Like, yo, it's pyramid sites that some of them sites got like 40, 50 pyramids in one site, nigga. And we ain't talking about El Mador and Chichen Itza and all of the common shit, man. It's some places, sites that niggas don't even know about, my nigga. And it's like 40, 50 fucking pyramids in one fucking location, nigga. So yeah, so definitely get with that. You know what I'm saying? DNA joint coming up as well. American was a Negro continent or whatever. I'm gonna do a build on that. I got a lot of shit, but I don't have. It's only 24 hours in a day. I gotta work and I gotta do what I gotta do, as well as culture freedom. So peace to guys, man. Peace to the goddesses. Y'all enjoy your fucking day off the plantation, man. And with that being said, man, peace.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the brother A1, man. Shout out to the Rimmers in the building. Shout out to all the family that's in here. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe. You already know the vibe. This your brother Big Guy Version of Power, and we out this bitch.